Well, hey everybody, I'm John Riplin. This is my review of WWE NXT for November 6, 2019. About 2 weeks away from War Games, men's and women's. Which one do you think is going to be the better one? I think they're both going to be great, but they're going to need two other matches and two really solid matches to bridge the gap because you're going to have one War Games open the show and you're going to have one close the show. And I think they should have the women's War Games close the show, but again, let me know in the comments what you think. Want to give a shout to cat_woman13. She does some great, short videos on her Twitter feed, sharing her passion for wrestling, her knowledge of wrestling, the fact that, who she likes, who she doesn't like, and she's honest, openly honest. I can truly appreciate that. And boy, if it wasn't for the fact there was a few state distance, I would love to do, a few reviews with her and, get her insight and everything. That could be a whole lot of fun. But in all honesty, she does some great stuff. She has some great tweets and some great takes on wrestling. So I just wanted to give a shout for that. Now, we start the show with Mauro Ranallo showing footage of Styles, Gallows, and Anderson invading Full Sail. Hey, NXT wants to come to SmackDown and Raw. Well, we're going to come to Full Sail. We're going to come to the black and yellow brand. And I like this because even though I know some people don't want the main roster to invade, at least with Styles, Gallows, and Anderson, they were never in NXT. It makes sense. Styles debuted at the 2016 Rumble. Gallows and Anderson debuted on Raw, I believe. It was Raw, I think it was Raw, a few months afterwards. So they've never been in NXT. That's fine. And we only have a couple weeks to build this. So it actually does make a whole lot of sense to utilize people. And they actually tie this in at the end, which is some pretty good stuff. So Ciampa shows up and, oh, you guys are here to take over. The people keep asking me, hey, when are you going to go to the main roster? So he says, Styles, Gallows, and Anderson, welcome to the main roster. I'm not going to call Styles, Gallows, and Anderson by their stable name, by the way, because it's an objectively stupid name. One time, the OC is a fucking moronic, stupid, rotten, goddamn name. And it makes it to where I can't take them seriously. And they're legit athletes. They're a great trio. It's a stupid fucking name. And I will go to the goddamn grave feeling that way. It's a fucking rotten name. If you guys like it, and you can list in the comments why you like it if you want. That's okay. I just think it's dumb. So, Ciampa's like, well, hey, they're having this promo battle and everything. Wait, who's going to, there's three of us and only one of you. Keith Lee and Matt Riddle show up. They have a bit more back and forth. And, oh, we're going to get a 6-man tag later in the main event. Good stuff. Good way to build. And then we come back. We have Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest. A few weeks ago, Damian Priest won in a really, really good match after a referee distraction when he got a low blow. And they actually had a rematch on a house show a few days later in Seattle, which was really good stuff, by the way. Priest, very impressive in person. If you ever get a chance to see him, very, very good presence. And also, Pete Dunne, second time seeing him live. I saw him at an indie show, Progress, Defy Northwest Wrestling show last year, which was really great. But this was great stuff. One, Damian Priest's theme is tremendous. Absolutely love the theme, and I also love Pete Dunne's theme. But this is some great stuff. It went 2 commercial breaks. You had some great strikes and exchanges. Plenty of momentum switches. I mean, plenty of stuff where it's like, hey, it wasn't, but it flowed really, really well. It's not like no selling. It was just like, hey, we're bound and determined. Pete Dunne's bound and determined to prove without the low blow. Damian Priest could not beat him. Damian Priest was like, well, you know what? Guess what? I'm going to prove that I can beat you, and I didn't actually need that. But in the end, after the second commercial break, after a few minutes, Damian Priest, with the referee distraction, tries to go for the low blow. Oh no, Pete Dunne gets the low blow, and then does the finger popping thing that he does, finger snapping, and gets a tap out. So we're 1-1. My guess is we're probably going to get a submission match on this. Now, Damian Priest losing in the end is not the worst thing in the world. And I mean, if he eventually loses this feud, and same with Dunne. This is a good feud, and I don't mind doing this, though I can see why some people may not like the Priest lost. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It makes sense because you had the heel use a low blow, so of course the babyface, pseudo-babyface Pete Dunne used a low blow. It made sense. We then, and I just want to point this out, and I'm sorry if anybody is a fan of Beth Phoenix. I'm a fan of Beth Phoenix in the ring. She's objectively awful on commentary. She's just, granted, she's having to, compete with Mauro and Nigel as far as loud personalities and everything. And I get it, but people complain about Renee just doing nothing but sound bites. That's all Beth does. Beth is like, oh, it's like a freaking tennis match, for God's sakes. she actually knows a lot about wrestling. I mean, you can tell she does. She's just not very good at the commentary. She's not very good at all, and I just wanted to mention that right here. We get a Dakota Kai interview. She wants to prove that she belongs in War Games. She's going to face Shayna Baszler tonight, and if she proves herself, maybe she'll be included on Rhea Ripley's team. And Rhea Ripley's team is Rhea, Tegan, and Candice, with one member left to name. And then Shayna's team is Shayna, Bianca, and Io. So thankfully we don't have Duke and Shafir there. Don't worry, I'm going to get to them a little bit later. But we then have Tanaya Conte, and I always mispronounce that. I do apologize, versus Santana Garrett. I don't understand why people were so harsh on this match. Now, was it a great match? No. I like Santana Garrett, and Tainara has some ability. It's going to take time with her. Santana also has been on smaller stages and everything, and maybe there were butterflies. Who fuck knows? This wasn't a bad match. Now, was it perfectly clean? No. Was it bad? No. I don't exactly get why people were so goddamn mean about this. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing in the world. Were they calling out spots loudly? Maybe. There are a lot of people that do that. That's the problem with miking the goddamn arena, little area and miking up the freaking ring posts and shit like that. You're going to get people calling that. There was some good wrestling to start. I like the arm focus by Conte. I like the fact that Santana Garrett got in some good shots. She came back. There was, sure, there were a few flubs. You're going to get that. There were some good, great agility by both of them. It was some good stuff. It wasn't fantastic, but it was pretty good. Especially for a TV match. I wasn't expecting, Steamboat and Flair. I wasn't expecting Aja Kong and, Alundra Blaze. Or Bull Nakano and Alundra Blaze. I wasn't expecting any of that stuff. We then get a quick, big boot variation, and Conte gets the pin 1, 2, 3. It was fine. It was fine for what it was. We then get Tony Nese and Angel Garza's package on, respective shots. Have fun with that line as you see fit. It was actually just to hype up the match that they're going to have a little bit later. And then we get hyped for Survivor Series, a tag title 3-way, Viking Raiders, Revival, and O'Reilly and Fish. Funny because the Viking Raiders were literally just in NXT like about 7 months ago. So yeah, they're so established on Raw. And the Revival's best run was in NXT. The match will be good. I don't think that there's this brand supremacy thing. It's Vince trying to create competition, and it's not necessarily working, even though the talents are going to work really, really hard to make it work. And then they have Shayna, Becky, and Bayley, which I think is going to be a pretty damn good match. I actually think will end up being the best match of the night. Give those women 20 minutes, they can kill it. We then get Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler. And Shayna, and look, I know that there are Shayna Baszler fans that follow that watch my channel. You're not going to get any Shayna Baszler hate here from me. I had it in the beginning. I'm talking when she first showed up and faced Ember and that kind of stuff. She won me over. I'm not going to say she's like my favorite, but she won me over. Who hasn't won me over is those two slugs that are with her, Duke and Shafir. Now, are they trying? Sure, they could be trying. They're fucking rotten. They have no presence, no ability. Are they athletes? Sure, they probably are athletes. There are plenty that have been athletes that have gotten in wrestling that have not succeeded. They're just not very good. Shayna and Dakota just doing this would have made absolute sense. And of course, at one point, I believe somebody on commentary, it was either Mara or Nigel, says, "Oh, Dakota pie facing Baszler or Kai facing her." It was a terrible pun. I'm sorry. It was great stuff. Dakota did get in some shots. Shayna then took over with the groundwork, the knee focus, working on the knee. Dakota did come back with some nice kick variations and some nice strikes. She would not quit. But then, of course, it's the Terrafuda clutch. I call it the Barracuda clutch just for fun. And even though Dakota fought out of it once, she couldn't fight out of it again. She ends up tapping out. But you're thinking even in defeat, Rhea might feel that she, deserves a chance. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. But then we have both teams show up. We have, we have Candice, Tegan, Rhea, Io, Bianca, and we have the two slugs there also because they were clueless and didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Mia Yim comes out with a Singapore cane or a kendo stick and just hits everybody. Everybody that is on the heel side. Oh, maybe it's me, maybe it's Mia that's going to be part of Rhea's team. It's going to be Mia. That's pretty much what the implication is. We then get an interview with Ciampa, Keith Lee, and Riddle, and who's the fourth man? Who's going to be the fourth man to be part of Ciampa's team? Probably Dominik Dijakovic. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just guessing. We then get a Swerve video package. I love Swerve. Isaiah Swerve Scott, he's absolutely great. We get Tony Nese versus Garza. Angel Garza, that is. It was great. It was a number one contenders match. Whoever wins gets face Lio Rush for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship next week. This is good. Really good exchanges by both these guys. Some hard kicks. Some great agility. Garza loses his pants at one point because Tony Nese tries to powerbomb him. And then the pants come off and he powerbombs some pants. So it's like apparently we are in some kind of comedy wrestling circuit here. But it is what it is. This was some good shit. This really, really was. I encourage you guys to go check this one out. This had some really, really nice near falls and some great kicks, just flippy shit. It was a lot of flippy shit, but it did have some meaning. These guys are really good workers. Nese deserves more opportunities like this, and I hope he gets them. We get the 450 splash, or as I put it, the 450 splash, and for 2. Soon after, wing clipper, 1, 2, 3. And we get Angel Garza winning. And then Angel Garza sees Lio Rush out there at the entranceway and slaps him. And anytime Lio gets slapped, that's a good day. I'm not a fan of Lio Rush, if you can't tell. We then get Rhea. We have all the women back there, including Dakota. And Rhea says, sorry, Dakota, you didn't make the cut. Mia's on the team. So since Shayna's team has one less member, we're going to get Dakota joining Team Shayna to prove to Rhea that she could do that she belongs. That's what we're going to do, because you sure as fuck can't put Duke and or Shafir in there. You just can't do it, because they're objectively awful. Have I mentioned that? So yeah, that's going to be some fun stuff. And then we get Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Dominik Dijakovic. Good stuff. Speed versus strength. Swerve did not look out of place at all. I've seen him work with big guys like this before. He had a really good showing here. He would not quit. Dominik did keep hitting him with some big old power moves and stuff like that, but Scott kept coming back. Hitting a nice double stomp. Hitting some really good moves, but in the end did get caught. Feast your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Really good stuff. I enjoyed this and thought one of the best matches that I've seen on TV in a while. As far as I can get over match. It was only maybe 8 minutes, but still it served its purpose and it worked well. And I'm a fan of Swerve, so I'm going to be maybe just a little bit biased. We then get a Forgotten Sons video package. What the fuck did this gimmick do to deserve a video package? Nothing against the talents, but that gimmick is totally dead. Io versus Mia Yim next week. In a ladder match, the winner gets to have the advantage for their team at War Games, which I like. As I'm stumbling over my words because I've been up about almost 24 hours. So that's going to be interesting. Io's obviously going to win because the heels always seem to get the advantage in these War Games matches. And then we get Lio versus Angel Garza next week. Cool stuff. Have Angel Garza win the championship. He won't, but I hope he does. Styles, Gallows, and Anderson versus Lee, Riddle, and Ciampa. Brawl at the beginning. It takes a while for the thing to even get started. And from there, there's some good wrestling. The faces dominate for a bit. The heels take over. Lee gets dominated a bit, but then does some really nice power moves, especially with Gallows. Styles and Ciampa tangle a bit. Ciampa gets targeted for a while. Riddle gets a hot tag. Cleans house with everybody. Crowd goes absolutely insane. Some really, really good stuff. But then we get, I want to see Riddle versus Styles at some point. We get a pounce where Styles gets taken out, but so does the ref. So the ref's down, and what the heck happens? Finn Balor shows up. Finn Balor and all the fangirls and statistically fanboys were not fine at all. Finn comes down, lays out Riddle with the 1916. Since the referee's still down, we couldn't see what happened. It was obviously going to end up being a no contest for this match. And what does he do with Styles? When Styles does this, he does this. We're probably going to get we're probably going to get the Auk, as Durba called him, and Balor at some point teaming up possibly in War Games. Who the fuck knows? I don't know anymore. You know what? Put Styles, Gallows, and Anderson and Balor in War Games, and just have a 3-team War Games. Why the fuck not? So yeah, we then get Adam Cole then suddenly shows up and he attacks first AJ Styles and then he attacks Tommaso Ciampa since Ciampa wants Goldie back. So that's where we got. We're done. And it was a good show. It was a pretty damn good show. It was just ever so slightly better than AEW this week. I'm still going to give it a B, which is the same grade I gave AEW, but this is a much more solid B. I know that sounds a bit weird to like describe that, but it's interesting to see this whole Wednesday Night War. The whole benefit is to the fans. So the fans are winning this, and it's really, really nice. And hopefully we get to see a really good War Games, and hopefully this Saturday we get to see really good Full Gear. Let me know what you guys thought of this show in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.